you ever wonder why there is a line on our hymn such as Ang Diyos, ang Bayan, at ang Tahanan? Well, today in our video presentation, we will witness the story of a man whose life is willing to sacrifice just for the love for his family, country, and God. I'm Christian C. Celestino, your virtual tour guide to the life of a man inspired by hardship, sacrifices, and success. The life of Manuel G. Araullo.
Manuel Gonzalez Araullo was born on January 1, 1853 at Balayan, Batangas. He was the son of Manuel Felix Araullo and Dolores Fernanda Gonzalez. His elementary education was at the Ateneo Municipal de Manila, the then public elementary school run by the Jesuits. He continued his study under the Dominican tutelage at the Colegio de San Juan de Letran, where he obtained a philosophy degree. At the Universidad de Santo Tomas, he first pursued theology and later shifted to law. While a student, he was recognized for his essay, Labor Omnia Vincit, a Latin motto meaning work conquers all. By 1876, his studious effort was rewarded by a licentiate in law from the Universidad de Santo Tomas. The following year, he passed the bar and after a few months went to Spain to gain a doctorate degree at the Universidad Central de Madrid. By 1879, he went back to the Philippines and managed the estate of his father. His return marked the start of a fruitful career in the judicial service. For 10 years, he was the Relator de la Audiencia de Manila. He was appointed to other positions such as Abogado Fiscal de Audiencia de Manila, Fiscal Audiencia Territorial at Cebu, Promotor Fiscal de Binondo, Magistrador Suplenario, and Letrador en la Intendencia General de Haciendas of University of Santo Tomas. Such judicial experience caught the eye of the Dominicans and he was offered professorial chair at the Universidad de Santo Tomas. There, for 4 years, he taught Derecho Mercantil y Haciendas Pública until 1898. With the establishment of the American rule in Manila in 1899, Araullo was appointed Associate Justice of the Supreme Court. Later, he was appointed as Judge of the Court of First Instance, which has the jurisdiction over Tarlac, Pampanga, and Nueva Ecija. He was later transferred to Manila to preside at its Court of First Instance. His ruling over controversial cases earned him the Just Judge. In 1913, the Philippine Assembly created a code committee to help them in the revision and creation of the laws in the fields of civil, commercial, penal, and procedural matters. Araullo's name was at the forefront as he chaired over the committee consisting of American and Filipino legal luminaries. It was also in that same year when he was reappointed as Associate Justice of the Supreme Court. On November 1, 1921, he was appointed as Chief Justice and served until his death on July 16, 1924.
As a product of Manuel G. Araullo High School, it is important for me to know the history of my school. As we watch this video, let us understand how this school developed into one of the premier schools in Manila. I am Dexter Jan Soriano, your history narrator.
And I am Mary Chin A. Simbiling, also from AP Department, as we bring you along the historical path of this celebrated school in District 5, Manila, the Araullo High School.
Few schools have as long a historical record as Manuel G. Araullo High School can rightfully pride itself in. Its history spans for more than a century, and its alumni include some of the best minds the country has ever had.
In 1892, a school for girls under the supervision of the Sisters of Charity was established. It was located at the corner of Victoria and Moralia Streets in Intramuros. The building is an impressive structure made entirely of lumber, except for its concrete pedestals with an inner court, classrooms, a reception hall, and an assembly hall.
During the Spanish-American War, it was converted by the Spaniards into a military hospital. After winning the conflict, the Americans turned it back as an educational institution and named it the Manila Grammar School. Later, they changed its name to American High School in the morning and Manila Normal School in the afternoon. These lasted from 1900 to 1905.
In 1906, to meet the demand for secondary education from graduates of Manila and provincial intermediate schools, the school was reorganized and renamed Manila High School during the day and Victoria Night School for adult education in the evening.
The continuous increase of demand for public high school education caused the establishment of the three new high schools in the north, east, and western districts of Manila. The original Manila High School, still located at Intramuros, was reorganized and named as Manila South High School, serving the students living in the southern districts of Manila.
On June 8, 1930, in compliance with the Municipal Ordinance No. 1603, which states that public schools must be named after Filipino justices of Supreme Court, Manila South High School was renamed Manuel G. Araullo High School in memory of the third Filipino Chief Justice of the Supreme Court during the American period.
Before the outbreak of the war, the school acquired two annexes to accommodate the growing number of students. One on Pass Street in Paco called the Yanko Annex and another one in Malate across the church. This setup continued up to the war in 1941.
After liberation, Araullo High School was reorganized not in its old campus, which was destroyed during the war, but in several Quonset huts located on the campus of Epifanio de los Santos Elementary School in Singalong. In 1947, due to an increase in enrollment, one of the buildings of Justo Lucban Elementary School became an annex of Araullo.
Through the War Damage Fund, the Bordner building was restored in 1949. The building and its grounds became the new home of Araullo High School. The students from Lucban and Singalong transferred to the new campus, while an annex at Mehan Garden was incorporated to Manuel Rojas High School.
As enrollments continued to increase, the Siquia Annex at Santa Ana was acquired. In 1950, an administration building with several Quonset huts was constructed along Isaac Peral Street, now the United Nations Avenue. Another annex was put up in 1957 at the Uson Building on San Marcelino Street. A year later, this annex was vacated and the Siquia Annex was declared independent. It came to be called Villamor High School.
In January 1962, the Isaac Peral Annex along UN Avenue became the new main building, and the Bordner building was used as an annex for evening vocational classes. Later, the Manila Science High School was established with the Boardner Building as its campus.
Infrastructure investment was a contributing factor for the continuous growth of the school. Through the years, iconic buildings were constructed such as the original Taft Building, whose facade features sunshade elements. Together with the UN, Calao, and San Marcelino buildings, these contiguous structures seem to embrace students entering the campus. The circular building can be rarely considered an architectural gem as its style is the only one in all of Manila's public school buildings.
The construction of the administrative building, Carino type, further enhanced the management of the school organization, while the UN building with auditorium also houses the clinics, the guidance, registrar, and property offices.
The 15-room science building is the hub of scientific excellence as it has laboratories and equipment for experiments, while its campus shelters physical education classes. Facing Taft Avenue is the 4-story TL Evoque HE building where students' skills in manual and technical capabilities and home management skills are developed. Another addition was the 6-room music building where melodic sound and lyrical tunes from students and teachers can be heard.
The advent of K-12 curriculum ushered another series of facilities improvement and building construction. In 2016, the Strada building was completed, servicing grade 7 and senior high students. The Amadome was lengthened and a covered court was erected in front of the main stage to provide shade and shelter. The legacy buildings such as the UN, Calao, and San Marcelino were refurbished to provide optimum conditions for academic subject classes.
Last year, the 4-story, 8-classroom senior high building was completed to cater to more students wanting to be under the aegis of illustrious Manuel G. Araullo High School.
Araullo High School has gone a long way from a city school to a huge complex with more than 5,000 students coming from Manila and nearby cities and provinces. The effort of the administration, the faculty, the parents, the alumnus, the students, and community contributed to make it one of the premier public schools in Manila and in the Philippines.